Lucid dreaming has an elephant in the room, only this elephant is wearing latex boots, frilly pants, and is holding a whip. Yep, you've guessed it, we're going to talk about the naughty side of lucid dreaming, that part of lucid dreaming that most people have dabbled in, but very few want to admit, at least not in polite company. So let's be honest, virtually every lucid dreamer has been at that point in the middle of a dream where they realize, wow, this is a dream, I could do absolutely anything. But what happens next? Is it option A, I will explore my subconscious and find deep, hidden meaning? Option B, I'm going to travel to distant galaxies and explore the wonders of the cosmos. Option C, clothes, who needs clothes? And statistically speaking, most people choose option C. And look, no judgment, it's a dream, there are no consequences, no awkward morning texts, no having to tell your friends what happened. It's a perfectly normal human urge, but when you've got the entire universe of possibilities before you, and your brain goes, hold on, let's just get jiggy, it's a bit annoying. And worse still, it hardly ever works. Here's what happens instead. Halfway through, your dream character turns into your maths teacher, or the location suddenly shifts to your grandmother's house, completely ruining the mood, or things just get too organic with tentacles and insects and just grossness. But more often than not, you spend the entire dream chasing after the naughtiness, you don't get it, and then you wake up frustrated, questioning your life's choices. And if this sounds familiar and you're feeling a little bit embarrassed or ashamed and you're going, yes, that's me, I'm very naughty, I feel like I've been very, very bad, I should be punished. I know what you're doing, you're trying to do it again, aren't you? Stop doing that. Why does this happen? The science of lucid dream naughtiness. Okay, so first off, this isn't even your fault. This is just biology in action. You don't have to worry about being a bit of a creep because every time you go into REM, your body goes into auto-frisky mode. It's just inevitable. And sleep scientists, with their beautiful way with words, call this nocturnal tumescence or nocturnal engorgement, so not really that romantic sounding. And what that means when it's translated into normal speak is that when you're in REM, rapid eye movement, dreaming sleep, you go into automatic Tinder mode, so you'll either have a tent in your bed or a swimming pool, depending on your hardware. And actually, this is perfectly practical and healthy and normal, because what your body's actually doing is a full system check. When you're asleep, it's making sure that everything's working as it should. But the side effect of this is that it can flavor your dreams with a certain frisky feel. And for most people, this is one of the big barriers getting between them and their actual dream goals. They have all these big ideas about what they want to use lucid dreaming for, but when they find themselves in a lucid dream, these urges take over and they wake up annoyed with themselves. And there's another element to this that makes it even more difficult to get past, and that is when you're in a lucid dream, your prefrontal cortex, the area of your brain which is used for self-control, critical thinking, those kinds of things, is active, but it's a bit more subdued than normal. But your amygdala, the part of your brain which is used for strong emotions, is in overdrive. So your poor prefrontal cortex, which is barely awake, it's just been woken up to have a lucid dream, is battling with an overactive amygdala and all of your hormones, making your ability to stay focused a little bit diminished. What on earth is happening? So now we understand why our lucid dreams take an unexpected turn into Lucid Dreams Adult Edition. But why is it so hard to stop? Why is it when we have a lucid dream, we become giggling teenagers with the self-control of a Labrador puppy in a butcher's shop? Well, the first reason is your brain is hardwired for reward seeking. Obviously, when you're awake, you have social pressure, consequences, and common sense to stop you making silly choices. And all of these things are the realm of the prefrontal cortex, and like we said, it's still not fully awake in a lucid dream. But also, in a dream, there are no consequences, there are no social pressures. You're in a world where anything is possible, so you have a diminished sense of self-control, plus a world where anything is possible, and these urges nudging you along. It's a recipe for naughtiness. And then there's the dopamine problem. The moment you realize you're dreaming, you get a rush of dopamine, and that tells your brain this is great, keep doing this. But that diminishes your control and your focus even more, making you more vulnerable to these urges. Then there's the dream control paradox, which basically means the harder you try to do something in a lucid dream, the harder it is to achieve, the more entangled by it you become. It's a bit like trying to grab hold of smoke. When you try to grab smoke, the faster you do it, the faster it escapes. And this is why so many lucid dreamers get caught in a dream control loop where they keep trying something, keep failing, keep trying, keep failing. And what they don't realize is that the failure feeds into this emotional energy, which diminishes their lucidity, making what they're trying to achieve even harder. How to stay in control and stay lucid. So does this mean you're doomed to keep waking up frustrated or to constantly be driven by these desires? Well, not necessarily. Here's how to stay in control. Step 1, take it easy. Have an abundance mindset. So for a lot of people, when they have a lucid dream, they're like, wow, I'm finally lucid. I've got to do the thing I want to do right now. That's the wrong mindset to have. If you go to a fancy restaurant and you get given a plate of food, you don't immediately slap your head into the plate and stuff the food into your mouth like an animal. You take time to savor and enjoy the experience. Do the same with lucid dreaming. This isn't going to be your only lucid dream. You're going to have many, many more. Really enjoy the process like a tourist exploring a new place. Take it easy. Step 2, fake disinterest and be apathetic. So however excited you are, don't give into it. Allow that feeling to just sit to one side and relax. Be disinterested. Play hard to get with the dream. Remember, there's this tug of war. On one side, there's the amygdala, and on the other side is the prefrontal cortex. If you give in to strong emotions, you're giving energy to the amygdala, which is pulling you away from critical thinking, from lucidity. So when you're calm, when you're apathetic, when you're disinterested, you're giving energy to your prefrontal cortex, giving you time to be critical and thoughtful and lucid. Step 3, redirect the energy. So you're going to find yourself with some kind of strong emotional or primal energy when you start a lucid dream. That might be the naughty urges, but it might be other strong emotions. Now, rather than let them overwhelm you, redirect that energy into focus and concentration. Let it buoy you up in the dream. You may have heard of the concept of Kundalini, which is using primal urges for more intellectual pursuits, and this is essentially what you'll be doing in your lucid dreams. And remember, this doesn't mean that you're battling urges or fighting against them, because that's just another way of giving in and of letting them control you. Instead, you recognize their existence and use that energy for something else. Step 4, remember, you are not your thoughts or your urges. These are things that happen to you. One of the big problems with lucidity is identifying with something other than self. Remember that feelings are more like signposts than orders. They're a suggestion. They're something you might do. You don't have to act on a thought. You don't have to act on a feeling. Instead, consider them. Is that something I really want to do? What would I do if I really could do anything right now? Don't mistake the signpost for an order. And think about what you're doing here. If you take an emotion or an urge as an order, you're basically giving the amygdala control. You are giving into it. It is calling the shots. If you take it as a suggestion and then consider it, it is the prefrontal cortex being active. And this works just as much in waking life as it does in dreams. In fact, it's one of the real benefits of lucid dream training. You stop becoming a slave to your impulses. Lucidity isn't just about being lucid in your dreams, it's about being lucid in all moments of life. It just so happens that some of those are dreams. And here's something I really don't want you to do, and that is to think that these urges or these feelings are bad or wrong and you need to push them away. They're a perfectly normal part of the holistic human experience. They are just as valid as an intellectual or philosophical thought. We're just learning to balance our minds rather than be swayed by one singular urge. In fact, these urges can be our allies and give us lucid dreams. So those of you who have got this far, here's your reward for watching to the end of the video. The next time you're feeling one of these naughty urges when you're awake, or you're looking at someone and thinking of them in that kind of way, stop and question if you're dreaming right then. This is one of the prime times to do a reality test, because you are very likely to have those thoughts in dreams. You want to train yourself in waking life whenever you get the urge to do a reality check. If you can do that consistently every single time, you will have many, many more lucid dreams. And you can have even more lucid dreams by watching one of the videos on the screen right now and hitting that subscribe button. I'll see you there.